How does a person go from sightseeing in historic Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to deceased in the remote forests of North Carolina? That is exactly what happened to a woman in 1997. This is her story. In September of 1996, Judy Eldridge turned 50 years old and found herself experiencing a level of happiness she hadn't felt in years. Her adult life had been a series of challenges, including 2 marriages that both ended in divorce. The last one left her without a job or a place to live, and she was raising 2 small children alone. But a positive turn of events brought a successful attorney, Judy Smith, into her life. Judy thought she and Jeff would be together forever. Over 10 years of dating before the wedding, Judy and Jeff's relationship deepened, and Judy finally felt a sense of security, knowing she had finally found a stable and caring relationship. She knew she could now give her kids the life she had always dreamed of giving them. Jeff and Judy first met while Judy was working as an in-home nurse for Jeff's father. It was love at first sight, and Judy and Jeff were both all in. In April 1997, Judy made the decision to join her husband at a pharmaceutical convention in Philadelphia, eager for some quality time together. But the trip wasn't just going to be about work. They had an entire week of exciting plans. Both Jeff and Judy buzzed with excitement about the upcoming adventure and could hardly wait to leave. Finally, the day came, and on the morning of April 9th, 1997, they drove to Logan International Airport, all set for what Judy liked to think of as a second honeymoon. But a bizarre series of unusual incidents was about to take place, leaving a lasting impact on the couple's friends and family, even today. The trip started off on a bad note right off the bat, before even boarding the plane. Judy, it seemed, had forgotten her ID and was not allowed to board the plane. New FAA regulations at that time required that airlines verify passengers' identities before allowing them to fly. Faced with the chance of missing the pharmaceutical conference if he didn't take that flight, they agreed that Jeff would board and fly to Philadelphia while Judy went home, got her ID, and caught a later flight. Not a perfect start, but they agreed to meet up later that day at the DoubleTree Hotel in Center City, Pennsylvania, hoping this bad luck was just a passing glitch. And for a moment, it seemed like it had. While Jeff took care of the conference the next morning, Judy planned on sightseeing, heading to the Liberty Bell and Independence Hall. They agreed they would meet back at the hotel at 5 p.m., get ready, and then meet some friends at the conference's cocktail party downstairs. So at 9 a.m., Judy grabbed her small red backpack that she carried instead of a purse, and the two kissed goodbye. Little did they know, it would be the last time they saw each other. When Jeff returned to the hotel room about 5:30 after the conference dragged on a bit, Judy was nowhere to be found. At first, Jeff thought maybe Judy was running late herself, but when an hour had passed with no Judy and no phone call, he began to realize that something was wrong. Jeff started looking around the hotel, thinking maybe she had gone to the cocktail party early, but she wasn't there. With uneasiness growing, Jeff left the hotel, grabbed a taxi, and started retracing Judy's planned route for the day, thinking maybe she lost track of time. But again, she was nowhere to be found. Jeff called the local police, but since it hadn't been 24 hours, he wasn't able to file an official missing persons report. They told him to go back to the hotel, wait, and see if she shows up or calls. Despite their attempts to reassure him that she would turn up, Jeff, knowing Judy well, insisted something was wrong. She wouldn't just miss plans and fail to call. That wasn't like her at all. When morning came, and there still had been no contact, the police began to take the situation more seriously. After Jeff had made a couple phone calls with complaints, One was to the mayor of Philadelphia, Ed Rendell, and the other was to a member of the Pennsylvania State Congress, John Purcell. Detectives initiated their search by checking the hotel and its surrounding area and checking the local hospitals. Days passed with no sign of Judy, and the media got a hold of the case. Judy's face was all over the news, and flyers with her photo and information were posted all over the area. Numerous reports of sightings came in, but none were able to be confirmed. A lot of these shared similar details, many of them describing her as looking disoriented and wandering aimlessly through Philadelphia. Staff at the Society Hill Hotel were so certain they had seen Judy, checked in as H.K. Rich, that they began calling her the, quote, weirdo of the week, unquote, while she stayed there between April 13th and 15th. They claimed she had been in front of the hotel, naked, giving inappropriate gestures and behaving strangely. This woman allegedly insisted that an emperor had given her money to extend her stay, but most of her ramblings were in tongues. Other sightings had Judy eating alone in restaurants or out exploring the city. Again, police couldn't verify any of these sightings and were quite skeptical, not putting much stock in any single claim. As time passed, Jeff started to come under scrutiny, with authorities looking at the idea that Judy may never have been in Philadelphia. They considered the possibility that something could have happened to her before the second honeymoon even started, and that this was Jeff's way of diverting attention. Only one hotel staff member could vaguely remember seeing Jeff with a woman, and a thorough search of the hotel room uncovered only a few unworn women's items with no cosmetics in sight. Police Captain John McInnes remarked, "I don't think she's in Philadelphia. We had a lot of people out searching. If she had been here, we would have found her. Or if something had happened to her, we would have found her body. She was allegedly here one night and off by herself the next morning. But she had friends at this convention, and no one ever saw her. There were so many strange coincidences you don't know what to think. She didn't get on the plane with him. They meet in the lobby, they go to breakfast separately, and she doesn't have many things in the hotel room. When you look at the statistics, 85 to 90% of women murdered are killed by someone very close to them. A family member, spouse, or a boyfriend. Statistically, we have to look at Jeffrey Smith as a suspect until it's proven that he's not a suspect. Police claimed that Jeff acted suspiciously during their interview and said that he declined a polygraph test to clear him. Naturally, Jeff denied any and all accusations against him. Their whole circle of family and friends all vouched for his character, none believing that he could have hurt his wife. Beyond Jeff and Judy's seemingly affectionate relationship and their future plans, Jeff himself faced serious health challenges, being considered morbidly obese and dealing with various health issues that would have limited his physical ability to harm Judy, who was in much better shape. All the police had against Jeff was speculation, suspicions, and theories, but no concrete evidence to build a case against him. Some speculated that Judy may have been kidnapped or taken her own life, but again, there was no evidence to support this. As the days turned into weeks and the weeks into months, the disappearance of Judy Smith seemed to hit a dead end, with unverified sightings popping up from time to time. The investigation was quickly growing cold until a strange and unfortunate event changed everything. About 5 months after Judy vanished, on September 7th, 1997, a father hunting with his son along Chestnut Creek found the skeletal remains of a woman. Chestnut Creek is near the Stony Fork picnic area, part of the Pisgah National Forest, 9.5 miles from Asheville, North Carolina. She had been buried in a shallow grave until the elements and animals got to the remains. The cause of death was undetermined, but based on lacerations and punctures through the woman's bra, it appeared she had been stabbed in the chest multiple times, and the death was ruled a homicide. The remains were wrapped in a blue blanket, and scattered around the site were a small blue backpack, sunglasses, $200 in cash, and a diamond wedding ring. Police didn't initially connect the remains with the Judy Smith case, as the Pisgah Forest was over 600 miles from Philadelphia, but dental records eventually revealed the murdered woman's identity. It was Judy Smith. The circumstances left investigators puzzled, as it seemed illogical for Judy to be in a dense, desolate North Carolina forest instead of Philadelphia. Jeff, her husband, would contradict some of the details, saying Judy's backpack, which she carried as her purse, was red, not blue, and the sunglasses didn't belong to her. But he did identify the wedding ring, the one he purchased for her, as Judy's. Despite the discrepancies, he had to come to terms with the fact that the remains found in that North Carolina forest were those of his beloved wife. Judy's red backpack, her constant companion, was still missing, adding another layer of mystery to this already perplexing case. What made things even stranger was that the clothes on the body didn't match what Jeff had reported Judy as wearing when he last saw her. In fact, he said those clothes weren't Judy's at all. They were brand new and appeared to be specifically for hiking, including fresh thermal underwear and brand new hiking boots. Investigators believe Judy purchased these items in North Carolina and intentionally made her way into the forest, and did not believe that Judy's body was merely dumped there. 4 witnesses from Asheville, North Carolina came forward, claiming that they had seen Judy out and about around town. One witness, a clerk at a retail store, said she spoke with Judy at the store. Judy appeared to be alert and in good spirits and spoke of her husband, an attorney. Another witness reported that they saw Judy camping in the general area where her body would later be discovered. If these witness statements hold true, it would suggest that she willingly traveled to North Carolina after leaving the Philadelphia hotel the morning of the convention. But the reasons behind such a decision remain unclear and perplexing to everyone. Police now believe that Judy traveled to North Carolina and met with foul play while camping. Although the motive is not clear, robbery seems to be out of the question. $200 in cash and Judy's diamond wedding ring were found near the body. Authorities think this is more of a crime of opportunity. It has been suggested that she may have encountered Gary Michael Hilton, a serial killer who was later arrested and convicted of several murders on hiking trails in national forests in the southern Appalachians in 2007 and 2008. While he did leave the sexually assaulted and murdered body of one of his victims tied to a tree not far away from where Judy was found, it is not believed that Judy was one of his victims. Until he died in 2005, Jeff Smith remained a suspect. If he was involved, the truth of what really happened is now buried along with him. With no new information surfacing for many years, most of the questions remain unanswered. Why would Judy tell her husband she would be sightseeing in Philadelphia, only to leave and go camping in North Carolina? Why would she have dinner plans with her husband and friends, only to travel almost 600 miles on a whim without telling anyone? Those who knew Judy Smith insist that these actions were so out of character for her. There are no reasonable explanations for any of these choices. From the perspective of her loved ones, the only true 100% fact is that Judy said she was going out sightseeing in Pennsylvania, yet tragically ended up deceased in the remote, dense forests of North Carolina. So, that's going to do it for this episode of the Sheldrake Files. As always, if this is the kind of content you're into, hit that like button. And make sure you subscribe and turn on all notifications so you don't miss any of our weekly uploads. And so, for all of us here at the Sheldrake Files, thank you for watching, and we'll catch you next time.